KM7, the only local channel covering all of the CNMI.
You're just in time for KMCV News.
Coming your way in the next half hour, the body of Melvin Inker Kli'i, a Palawan fisherman, was found this afternoon 3 days after he turned up missing while fishing off Managaha.
And the island's first traffic lights are turned on. 28,000 cars a day will now have to stop and go according to the red and green lights.
And we visit the hospital's Hemodialysis unit for talk with patients about how the treatments are affecting their lives.
Stay with us. KMCV News is next.
Buenas noches para todos. Hamzu Tatao Saipan Luta Zantinian Guahu Si Carlotta de Leon Guerrero.
Good evening and welcome to the Friday edition of KMCV News. I'm Glenn Wakai. We'll have weather and sports in just a few minutes.
But first, at the top of our cast. The search is over. The man reported missing after going spearfishing with two companions off the Tanapag Reef last Tuesday has been found. Melvin Inarakli'i was found dead, floating 2 miles northeast of Managaha today. The Palawan man was reportedly found floating facing upwards, wearing only gray jeans, and his body was badly decomposed. The deckhands for the Sounds of Coral yacht say that about 2:45 this afternoon, while they were showing their customers the sunken aircraft near Managaha, they spotted 3 passengers aboard a small speedboat waving a distress signal at them. Deckhand Wilson Kumangay says when they went near the speedboat, they were asked to radio for help.
Turn around, but that boat's calling us. We go back again, and they said call the self-defense. They're gonna come and.
Did you call by radio?
Yeah,
from the boat?
Yeah, the captain called for those guys. They came.
And they got him.
And then they got him with the speedboat.
Boating Safety Assistant Chief Joe Sablon says the body was recovered and transported immediately to the CHC morgue. The 25-year-old man was positively identified by his sister, Linda Inarakli'i, about 3:20 this afternoon. His relatives were saddened by his death. However, they're quite relieved, say that they're relieved now that his body was found. DPS Director Gregorio Camacho says the same.
I'm sure that the family, although they are sorrow, I think it is better to have a body and not. But we still have to go to an autopsy to determine the cause of death.
Inarakli'i is survived by his 26-year-old wife and 4-month-old daughter.
And after 2 years and dozens of public hearings, don't plan on having a zoning plan very soon. Nanette Miranda reports that Saipan lawmakers are trying to find some middle ground that allows for the preservation of cultural lifestyles and economic growth.
It's a classic example of tradition versus modern times. On one hand, a group wants to enact a zoning plan which would regulate development and land use, while another group wants to let local custom dictate the future. Floor leader Stanley Torres issued a public statement today denouncing the current zoning proposal.
To be further restrict what to do in your own property is not acceptable according to our custom.
The local custom floor leader Torres is referring to is partita, whereby family land is partitioned for younger members as a place to build a house and live.
A family of 3 children that has only a portion of property, let's say 2,000 square meters of property or 2,500, that he cannot build 3 houses on that particular property because the proposed law says you can only build 2 houses. Now, the question is, where are you going to put the third kid?
But Ben Fitial, chairman of the zoning board, says the past, though, has to be laid to rest for the sake of progress.
If we want the economic growth to return to Saipan, we need to create a safe investment climate. Zoning is one major tool to create security for land investors. We cannot go back to simpler times.
The board's 300-page plan incorporates over 80 public hearings held over a period of 2 years. Investors, building professionals, and the local people have had input on what is now before the Saipan delegation.
We believe that growth is a good thing, but uncontrolled growth with no rules or regulations is a very bad thing for Saipan. Uncontrolled growth led to degradation of our natural environment, water and power shortages, sewage dumping into the lagoon, substandard unhealthy housing, not enough parking, and construction of operation of repair shops and garment factories in villages.
Some elected leaders have said they will vote no on the proposal because they don't want to give up tradition or impose additional burdens on their constituents. We'll see next week which side prevails. In Garapan, Nanette Miranda for KMCV News.
Governor Lorenzo de Leon Guerrero says he supports the Saipan zone plan, and he says the Saipan delegation should stand in support of it as well. He says the Saipan delegation bill created the zoning commission that subsequently presented the zone plan that is now before them. And he says if the Saipan lawmakers find they cannot support the zone plan due to pressure from constituents, then they should repeal the law that called for the creation of a zone plan.
In the first place, if the legislature feel that the zoning creation of the zoning board is inappropriate, why don't they repeal the law? I mean, it's, you know, let's be realistic and let's be honest about it. If you think that that statute is not in the best interest of the majority of the public that they represent, they should repeal it. You know, why spend all of these thousands or millions of dollars, going millions of dollars now, then we just say stop it. It's not worth it.
The governor says that land values increase when development is planned. He also says islanders have complained for years about how inappropriate it is to build auto repair garages and construction companies in the middle of villages, or that buildings don't have enough parking. Implementation of a zone plan, he says, is essential in a growing economy.
Adequate power is also essential, but Commonwealth Utilities Corporation was able to make its $1.5 million payment for its Mitsubishi generators. CUC member and finance director Eloy Enos.
Last night we finalized all the legal papers and loan documents and so forth with the retirement fund, and that has been consummated. As we speak now, the funds are being transferred to Tokyo. And the Mitsubishi folks have been advised of the pending receipt of the funds, and so they're going to take care of the transaction from that side. So as far as that issue is concerned, for now, that's settled as of today.
Enos says the retirement fund will get its money back via an untapped steady source of income.
So I think the neat thing about this retirement loan arrangement is that we're not dipping into the power revenues or water revenues and these revenues to repay this loan. We've essentially assigned the franchise fee payments from MTC to be made directly to retirement to pay for this loan. And this is other income that is not tied into any of the other obligations. So this arrangement works out fine. Works out pretty well for both entities.
The Mitsubishi generators are currently being used to augment the island's power needs.
Coming up, the Seabees from Guam join Lieutenant Governor Benjamin T. Manglona at American Memorial Park today.
And we follow a herpetologist for a quiet evening hunting for snakes. An effort to smuggle several pounds of marijuana into the Commonwealth went up in smoke yesterday. Customs K-9 Captain Joe Moffness says Manuel Takami arrived on board an early morning flight from Palau. Takami reportedly brought a cooler containing a rolling machine and 8 blocks of suspected marijuana. To keep Takami from skipping out, Judge Marty Taylor has set Takami's cash bail at $25,000. Because of a current lack of public defenders, Taylor also appointed a private legal counsel for the alleged drug dealer. Takami's preliminary hearing is set for Thursday.
Since Beach Road was first constructed after World War II, islanders have relied on the friendly wave and the imploring glance in order to move safely into traffic. Those gimmicks will still work, but you'll no longer have to rely solely on them because the island now has traffic lights. The flow of traffic down Beach Road has been subject to the whims and courtesy levels of the drivers, but that's all changed. Now the flow of traffic down Beach Road is regulated with the opening today of the island's first traffic light system. Liz Balahaja, Director of Public Works, says this is a new era for NMI drivers.
Red means stop, green means go, and yellow means be careful. Welcome to city life. 3 colors with simple meanings. It sounds so simple, yet it is not.
It's not that simple, but according to Department of Public Safety Director Greg Camacho, the island's growth requires a traffic light system.
Any time during the day, we have a total of approximately 28,000 vehicles moving around these portions of the road, and about 2,309 vehicles going through this road an hour.
Lieutenant Governor Benjamin Manglonia told the crowd of dignitaries that the system is indicative of the island's economic growth. He also highlighted the increased safety factors for motorists and pedestrians.
They will make it safe for our people and our tourists to cross the road without causing injuries and endangering their lives. They will help regulate the flow of traffic for the safety of our motorists.
Governor Lorenzo de Leon Guerrero pointed out that the bulk of the project, or $917,000, came from locally generated money. He noted that traffic is already moving easier and faster down Beach Road, but he warns islanders to continue to be cautious.
We can see with the 4 lanes and signal, traffic movement is greatly improved. But there will be an adjustments. Business, drivers, pedestrian will all have to get used to the new lane, as well as the traffic lights and procedures. And safety, not speed, is our first most concern.
Then the governor and lieutenant governor decided to be the first ones to try out the traffic light crosswalk. Getting over was no problem. Then it was just a matter of a few minutes of button pushing on the other side before the lights changed and the island's top 2 leaders crossed safely back. Once again, on red, you must come to a complete stop. Green means you can proceed, and yellow means to slow down and get ready to stop.
An effort is underway to stop one of Guam's biggest problems from becoming a problem for Saipan. There are an estimated 2 million brown tree snakes flourishing on Guam. After a recent sighting in Susupi, the Division of Fish and Wildlife is stepping up its efforts to locate any of the reptiles. Last night, KMCV News went out with a herpetologist on a snake hunt, and tonight we began a weekly series called Eye on the Environment. Two weeks ago, a security guard made a discovery behind the Onwell garment factory.
The snake apparently was sighted in the afternoon right around here. It was a dog, a barking dog, that drew the attention of the guard, a nearby guard, who came to see the dog chasing the snake, which slithered away into the vegetation over here. So the guard managed to get a pretty good look at it because it was during the daytime.
Gomez says just a day before the sighting, a delivery was made to the factory.
2 cargo containers which came from Guam. They were cleared by the customs, opened and cleared by customs, and 24 hours later there was a snake sighting right here. You know, whether it came from the container, we don't know, but there's a very good chance.
If the snake is still in the area, there is a wealth of nutritious rats to prey on. When the nocturnal brown tree snake isn't swallowing dinner, the snakes usually hang out in a place with a view.
The coconut palms are good areas to look. The snakes will sometimes, take refuge up on the top of them, particularly during the day. What we look for is the snake's silhouette off the leaves of different plants. Once you try to grab them, they're, like I said, they're very quick. They'll try to, they'll hit the ground and they'll be gone.
Not much attention was given to the brown tree snake when it made its first appearance on Guam about 40 years ago. Since then, Guam has said goodbye to most of its wildlife and hello to power outages and snake bites. There's very little hope that the island will eradicate the reptile. An effort is on to simply control its numbers with electrical fencing and traps. Similar devices can now be seen hanging in Susupi.
It's got a trap door, so it goes in and they can't get out.
Have these proven to be pretty successful in catching snakes on Guam?
Yes, very successful. They've had 100% effectiveness on some nights. Some traps have caught 3 snakes in one night.
Gomez has been trudging through the boonies for almost 2 years and he's yet to come across a snake on Saipan. However, there's been an alarming trend over the past few years.
Been an increase in number of sightings by the year. So far this year, we're having 1 per month. So, you know, that would make 12 for this year if we keep it up, and that would be 4 more than last year. And last year was 5 more than the year before.
We spent 3 hours searching and came up with nothing. However, each new sighting increases the probability that the brown tree snake is establishing itself here in the Commonwealth.
And help is slowly slithering in for the American Memorial Park. Dignitaries gathered this afternoon at the site to officially welcome the Naval Construction Battalion, known as Seabees, who have been commissioned here for a special mission to help us get ready for a World War II massive commemoration.
A special mission in our Commonwealth. You are here to help build an era which is devoted to remembering over 3,000 brave American soldiers who have gave their lives to liberate our people and to make the world safe for democracy.
The Seabees are on loan to the CNMI to help speed up the construction of the park. Organizers hope to complete the project in time to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Battle of Saipan next year. CB leader Lieutenant Keith Hamilton says they're prepared to work.
We're doing some of the earlier phases of the project to begin the excavation, demolition of some of the old structures that were here. We're preparing the parking lot, doing some site drainage improvements, and preparing the memorial site for the construction, pouring the slabs on the memorial site.
The Seabees are scheduled to be here until July, with crews working 24 hours a day.
For some people, their bodies can't function properly 24 hours a day. The complications of diabetes and high blood pressure can have a debilitating effect on a patient's lifestyle. The treatment is time-consuming and tiresome, but essential to maintaining a patient's health. Leila Camacho tells us about hemodialysis.
For a growing number of hemodialysis patients, this room at the Commonwealth Health Center has become a home away from home. The patients are here 3 days a week for up to 4 hours each visit. While they're here, they are hooked up to the hemodialysis machine, which operates as an artificial kidney. The patient's blood is circulated through the machine, which filters out toxic substances created by the body. This is a function normally done by the kidneys. A number of hemodialysis patients are being treated at the Commonwealth Health Center due to the kidneys that are not functioning properly. For dialysis patients, the biggest challenge they often face is following their strict diet, which has a number of restrictions. The CHC dietitian, Karen Dunker, says learning to eat correctly is one of the biggest obstacles a hemodialysis patient must overcome.
So the challenge for these people comes when they have to restrict a lot of their favorite fruits, which would be bananas and oranges. They also have to restrict themselves on the soy sauce and the amount of meat that they eat, for example, so that they can keep their protein load decreased for their kidneys. So they really have a lot of new challenges in their life to work on.
Ray Palacios is the hemodialysis unit technician, and he knows all the patients, including 9-year-old Jeffrey Villagomez, who is the youngest patient at the hemo unit. Teresita Jordan has been coming to the unit for 6 years now. In the vernacular, she explains what a change it has made in her life.
Pues debi lokui zokku liquid biadahi say kinini liquid lokui say zokku lang ya an miji liquid. Ai anai tu mai bitis azo diabetes tu na palaan pues anai tu mai bitis tu na sodan na king miso.
In Lower Navy Hill, I'm Leila Camacho for KMCV News.
Sports often gets your blood flowing, and here to give us a transfusion of excitement is Longshot Willie. And Willie, I understand you're going to be in that Hyatt Fun Fest this weekend. Tell us about it.
That's right. We're all going to be on the team for MCV. We're going to be in the Lua Ref Race, the Tagaman Slingshot, Kaduku obstacle course, and then my favorite, the Gaggle bed race. You know, I hope to be on the bed. You guys can carry me. Okay.
You're going to be working hard, I can tell.
We'll see also the contributions of little big men in the NBA, and we'll have a feature on Texas Rangers pitcher Nolan Ryan in his last season in baseball. For today, sports fans, Before there was the Twin Towers, and now there is the Little Big Men. They drive, they pass, and they shoot the bomb.
I don't think I look at the height as much as I look at his ability and his heart.
I've never seen anyone too small just because of size.
But I think that the point guard is once again a dominant role in a team's success.
In basketball, the most common term in reference to size is height, 6'8", 6'11", and for the league's tallest, 7'7". So when the Rockets selected 5'9" Calvin Murphy in the 1970 draft, well, some were amazed.
The first thing that came to my mind was I was too small supposedly to play this game, and now if you look at every team in the league, the 27 teams, there's a small man on the team or two.
I think we all look up to people like Calvin Murphy. I think he generalized what we want to be.
Despite Murphy's success, the 70s and 80s belonged to the big man. If you look at the position breakdown of the first selection in the NBA draft, since the Lakers picked Magic Johnson back in '79, you'd see 8 centers, 5 forwards, and 0 guards.
When we were so successful in the early 80s, it was our big Twin Towers, and all of a sudden Houston tried to follow with Hakeem and Sampson and a lot of other teams as well. Now it's really teams are searching out there to find that point guard because the teams that are succeeding now have very talented point guards.
I came along in '85 to start the smaller guards of being a catalyst or giving guys a punch off the bench. And ever since then, every time I look up, it's one team, they have a small guard.
And the numbers sure back spud up. In the 1986-87 season, a guard led only 8 of the 23 teams in scoring. Last season, a guard led 18 of the 27 teams in scoring. So why the increase?
The point guard today, he has to be able to score, he has to be able to penetrate, make the play to people, get people involved.
I think overall the ability to penetrate and is probably the biggest key in the NBA right now. And the smaller guards are able to get inside the lane, which creates a certain scenario where you don't have to have post-up game anymore.
Once you penetrate, you got a lot of options. You can cause a lot of chaos for the opposing team. You get inside their defense, you can either dish it off or you can make the layup or shoot the jump.
So when he penetrates, my defensive guy is going to come. Patrick Ewing is going to come. Olajuwon is going to come to try to block the shot, and usually that gives me some easy baskets.
But the penetrating, slashing style not only benefits the big man inside, it also opens things up on the perimeter.
We had another gorgeous day today. The sun was out and there was no rain at all. Let's start off tonight's forecast with our regional temperatures and our temperatures here in Saipan. It was mostly sunny with 85-degree weather. Rota and Tinian both posted a temperature of 87 degrees, also under sunny skies. Our neighbors to the south in Guam had an 83-degree high with cloudy skies. Palau was under cloudy skies today with 83 degrees, and Pohnpei was sunny at 82 degrees. Majuro was 82 with light showers, and Chuuk was sunny at 86. Taking a look at other Pacific temperatures, Manila was hazy at 82, Hong Kong mostly cloudy at 70, Honolulu was partly cloudy at 84. Moving on to Tokyo. Cold weather there, but down in Korea it's much colder, 52 degrees and foggy, and Tokyo was 59. Taipei, 64 degrees, and down south in Sydney, Australia, 82 degrees with hazy skies. The surf will be 4 to 6 feet on northern clockwise to southeastern beaches and reefs tonight, and 2 to 4 feet elsewhere. Our first low tide will be half a foot at 10:15 tonight. The next high tide after that will be 2.2 feet at 5:11 tomorrow morning. If you want to take a look at the sunset, it will be coming up in just a few minutes at 6:34, and the sun will. And if you miss it, you can catch a sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:07. Tonight we can look forward to partly cloudy skies with light showers, and tomorrow mostly sunny skies with light showers, and that's the weather for tonight.
If you find nice weather this weekend and can't find something to do, here's an activity for the young and the young at heart. A youth fest will be held on Sunday. The event will exhibit the talents of the CNMI's young entertainers. The youth fest is in celebration of Child Abuse Prevention and Youth Development Month. The activities run from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Sunday at the track behind the Ada Gym.
Before we leave, we have several programming notes to pass along. Asunto Siete with Mina de la Cruz is up next. And our exclusive coverage of the 1993 Miss CNMI Beauty Pageant will air on this channel tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And our congratulations go out once again to our weather forecaster And production assistant, Queen Vicky Chidella.
Hey, I second that. Congratulations for the Queen. On behalf of the entire KMCV News team, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Good night.
Good night.
Yes.